welcome back. Fresh tensions have erupted in Manipur ahead of Home Minister Amit Shah's visit. Amit Shah will be on a 3-day visit to violence-hit Manipur starting today to June 1 in order to take stock of the situation. Shah is expected to land in Manipur this evening. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has said that around 40 terrorists have been killed in the operations and many have been arrested.
Mass combing operations along with the helicopter surveillance has started, and we are trying to find out if the culprits, those militants who are attacking the civilians.
So how much? 40 million?
Around 33.
The northeastern state bore witness to fresh violence. Unidentified miscreants vandalized the house of BJP MLA Raghumani Singh in Imphal West. Sources say a mob damaged property and broke glass panes of MLA's house. Security forces reached the spot and dispersed the unruly mob. A police vehicle was also ambushed in Kakching and 2 commandos were killed during the recent violence. All right, we have Yambem Laba, a senior journalist, joining us from Manipur. Thank you, Laba, for joining us. What's the ground situation at this point in Manipur? We believe 40 militants have been killed so far. This after civilians were killed in clashes. Is the situation still volatile? Of course, Amit Shah will be visiting the state this evening.
You see, in 1991-92, at the height of the Naga Kuki War, I had termed the word India's Bosnia to describe Manipur. You know, the trouble that started in Yugoslavia, where the UN troops would be present and just watch both sides killing each other and do nothing about it. So it is revisiting India's Bosnia Part 2 now. So there's absolute chaos. It's a functional anarchy. Nobody knows who's in charge. And yes, the killings are going on both sides. The Kukis are heavily armed. They are not the original Kukis of Manipur. They are the recent illegal immigrants from Burma who were initially fighting for a Kuki state in Burma. The Kuki National Army was founded around 1979-80 to 98, around 80-81. To form a Kuki state in Burma or in Myanmar, which they failed. So they started infiltrating in mostly after 91-92 when the Naga Kuki clashes took place. And the government of India wanted somebody to help fight the Nagas, so they started arming the Kuki militants also. Then overnight, the Kuki militants sprang up. There were 30-odd groups, each divided along clan lines. And none of these Kuki groups have been outlawed by the government of India. Okay, the Manipuri Meitei outlaw groups, all Meitei armed groups are outlawed and are banned groups, but none of the Kuki 30-odd Kuki militant groups under the suspension of operations pact with government of India and government of Manipur are banned. So legally they are not outlaws. Okay, and then the government of Manipur has been placed under Article 355 of the Indian Constitution, by which the law and order has been vested in the hands of the center. The government of Manipur or the security advisor has not been able to come out with the exact number of Kuki militants who have escaped from this designated camps of the Sioux signatories. Okay, and not only the number of escaped militants, but also the number of firearms they have looted from the armory located inside the inside the designated camps. So there is chaos now, but the Kukis surround the valley areas, so they descend from the hill areas and started attacking left, right, and center. But it is a coordinated move because the attack that took place day before yesterday happened exactly at Sugru and at Kumbi and at Yangang Pokpi at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it is not just a sporadic, on-a-spur kind of attack. It's a pre-planned, orchestrated move. And they are heavily armed. They're armed. They train also. And the Meiteis are to fight back. So they're fighting back with whatever weapons they have in hand, which are basically 12-bore guns and things like that.
All right, Mr. Laba, you're saying these are orchestrated attacks. Now it is between Kuki militants and security forces. Amit Shah is visiting the state today. So from the perspective of controlling the whole situation, how significant is Home Minister's visit to Manipur today?
Well, it's better late than never. And actually, he should have come when the first spark was on the 3rd of May. Or at least he should have summoned the Chief Minister and asked him to give an explanation, which he never did. He came to Guwahati, met some MLAs, met some Kuki and CSOs, and then he sent his deputy Nitendra Rai to assess the area. He only visited Kuki areas, did not visit any Meitei relief area, camps and things like that. So Amit Shah coming will, to some extent, he will be able to understand the ground reality, because both sides have suffered. The Kukis have been moved out from the valley areas, and the Meitei villages lying in the peripheral, on the foothills, have also been kind of wiped out. About 1,000 houses have been burnt, and about 40,000 people rendered homeless, and more than 150 people killed so far.
Right.
So his coming will also ignite a kindle of hope amongst the people. But I hope he meets both the Meiteis as well as the Kuki CSOs, and not only the Kuki CSOs, and also listen to what each side has to say on this matter. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Laba, for joining us with all your thoughts and insights into this ongoing situation in Manipur at this point. Of course, fresh tension in Manipur. 5 killed in recent violence. Police vehicle ambushed. Amit Shah will be on a 3-day visit to violence-hit Manipur starting today in order to take stock of this situation. In fact, the northeastern state bearing witness to fresh violence, unidentified miscreants vandalizing the house of BJP MLA Raghumani Singh in Imphal West as well. In fact, sources saying a mob damaged property and broke glass panes of his house. Now, police vehicles was also ambushed and 2 commanders were killed in recent violence. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is due to visit Manipur and also to hold talks with stakeholders to restore calm. At least 40 militants have been killed in a coordinated security operations in Imphal Valley in the past 4 days. In fact, Chief Minister Biren Singh saying that at least 4 civilians and security officials were killed. All right, we have Nibir joining us. Nibir, the situation continues to be tense at this point. Take us through details of the ground situation. Of course, a significant visit by Amit Shah. He will be monitoring the real situation in Manipur as he pays that visit. But at this point, we believe that 40 militants have been killed so far after civilians were killed in clashes.
Right, yes, indeed. The Union Home Minister is set to visit Manipur today evening and take stock of the entire security situation, as well as have discussions with various stakeholders of the state, wherein there is an attempt to reduce the violence and also have a proper discussion to bring about peace in the state. However, there have been reported violence in the state ever since the arson and vandalism broke out in Manipur a few big weeks back, and yesterday the Chief Minister himself stated that over 40 militants have been gunned down who have resorted to vandalism and arson in the state. So law and order situation continues to be tense as sporadic instances of violence and arson have been witnessed in parts of the state. However, the armed forces have been deployed in vulnerable pockets, so that no untoward incident happened, and they are trying their best to reduce any sort of vandalism and arson that might broke out. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Nibir, for all those details. So law and order situation continues to be tense even as Amit Shah will be visiting Manipur. He will be on a 3-day visit. He will be holding talks with stakeholders to restore calm in the state. So at least 40 Kuki militants have been killed in a coordinated security operation in Manipur in the past 4 days. In fact, this hours after 4 civilians and security officials were killed in fresh clashes. All right, we also have another journalist joining us from Manipur, Numit Macha. Macha, thank you for joining us. Could you take us through what is going on at this point, what the current ground situation in Manipur is? Because 40 militants have been killed this after civilians were killed in clashes. And we also believe that the latest round of conflict is not between communities but between Kuki militants and security forces. So tell us what the ground situation is and how significant is Amit Shah's visit going to be? All right, we'll try and connect back with Macha in just a bit, but we have Arun joining us from Manipur, another journalist. Arun, what is the ground situation at this point? 40 militants are being killed after civilians were killed in clashes. What is the scenario like? We believe the situation, law and order situation is still tense, and of course today Amit Shah is visiting the state.
Yeah, it's today there are little reports of clashes between the militants and the state forces. Unlike yesterday, yesterday there was a lot of clashes and gun battles happening everywhere near the foothills between Kuki militants and the state forces. Also, some village volunteers are also part of the state forces. They are resisting the Kuki militants' onslaught. And today, it's the curfew is not there. They have taken away the curfew relaxations. So, but the situation is very tense right now.
All right. So you're saying situation is very tense right now. Of course, controlling the situation is something that, the center is trying at this point, which is why this visit by Home Minister Amit Shah. Tell us, Mr. Arun, how significant is this visit, as far as Amit Shah's visit is concerned for the state of Manipur, because he will be speaking to stakeholders, he will be assessing the situation. Do you think it's too little, too late at this point?
It's Amit Shah's visit it's too late, but everyone is expecting something from the visit, because this is so far since the classes begin in May 3. It's only the state forces who are battling the Kuki militants who have been taking these Mitai villages in the periphery, and while the central forces stood watch and they are doing nothing. So people's anger against the central forces is slowly building up, and I do not know how it's going to lead to, because they merely stood by. Yesterday also in Sugnu, when there was a fierce gun battle going on in Sugnu area, the central forces just stood by and watched. So the people's question is that, are they here to witness just spectators? There has been violation of these ground rules, suspension of ground rules, and if there is a violation, they are bound to attack, even if there is this suspension of operation. People's question is that. So people have been crying for withdrawal also about this suspension of operation and withdrawal of central forces, because they are not expecting any action from
Mr.
the central forces.
Right. Thank you for joining us with all your thoughts. We hope that the situation comes back to normalcy in the state of Manipur. Clearly, right now the situation is out of control and tense. You're saying that central forces are mere spectators at this point.